Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine. Joining me on the program today is the one and only Moose in the United Kingdom. You too can join the show if you so desire. Just go to the YouTube, check out the link. You can click right into the studio. And I don't blame you if you don't, because nobody really cares. I'm going to start the program talking briefly about the Cavaliers, and because their game just concluded, and I will then be talking about the Browns coaching situation and what's going on around the NFL. If you're a Cavaliers fan, I would urge you to stop at all costs. It's not good for your health. You know when it's over for a team, and it isn't over when you lose a few games. It isn't like that. It's when the league gives up on you. And Donovan Mitchell not making the All-Star starters is the sure sign that the league's giving the big FU to the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Absolutely. They've told us to go fuck ourselves.
The biggest disappointment after their great season last year in the regular season, the biggest disappointment in the NBA by far. And they have no answers. Every move that they made in the offseason was predicated on misinformation. Chet Holmgren is the real deal, and Evan Mobley is a farce.
Absolutely.
He's weak. He's afraid to go to the basket. I give up.
He's just afraid generally. He has zero confidence whatsoever. And
That's
Holmgren made him look like a junior high school player out
there.
He really did. Really made him. And Holmgren was pumping in threes. He was blocking shots. He was getting back on defense. He had active hands. He was stealing the ball. He was doing this and that. And my God, they fucking killed us.
Yeah. And, there's more to it. If you want to talk about somebody who has no confidence, look no further than DeAndre Hunter. Now, when I see two players who I know are better than this falling so rapidly in their skill set, there's something more going on. This doesn't just conveniently happen. It happens for a reason.
Yeah, there's a failure.
I think you keep bringing back Jared Allen, who's weak, and he has spread his AIDS disease of weakness through the whole organization. Kenny Atkinson has no answer. He tells this team to go out and pass the ball fast and play up tempo, and against the Thunder. Are you kidding? We don't even belong on the same court as the Thunder. And you want to know why? Because statistically, Lou Dort has Donovan Mitchell's number.
Oh, yeah.
He's inside his head, inside his uniform, inside his shoes. You can't compare these two teams. The Thunder are great. The Cavaliers are a 1-year, one-hit wonder.
They are the Tiffany of the NBA.
Yeah. And I wish they were alone now. Good God. I mean, and then why would you even bother putting Lonzo Ball in for 5 minutes in a game and then have him turn around and just not care? He seriously doesn't care. The lazy pass that he threw one-handed across the court that went out the side of his hand, he just instantly forgives himself. I wish somebody would ship him off. Make him sit, and you got to pay him, but you don't have to play him. Oh, my God.
Having Wade, Mobley, and Allen on the court starting the game is an instant recipe for each of them having minus 18.
I for the life of me, it's over. It's over for this team.
Over.
And the players, what's going to happen next is Donovan Mitchell is going to pull LeBron and want to go someplace else. And after we stuck with Darius Garland's going to want to go someplace else.
Yeah.
And when that all happens, Dan Gilbert will take his one good arm and shove Kenny Atkinson out the door, and that will be that.
Yeah.
And we'll be the Wizards again. Because there's nowhere to go with this.
Yeah.
Even the best fans, the most positive fans of the Cavaliers, no, there's no way out of this. It's like, well, we just have to sit back and wait for this team to gel. It's, well, for fucking Christ's sake. Could it be Ty Jerome? Ty Jerome was a cripple before he had one decent year in the NBA, and he's been a cripple again this year. I mean, please make this stop. They're just not good enough.
Well, I'll be honest with you. If this game was on at the normal time, like 5 hours later, I wouldn't have even touched it with a barge pole. But I only watched the second half. I was napping through the first half.
Well, you didn't miss nothing.
I know I didn't miss anything. Yeah.
And that's the thing. There is nothing to get excited about regarding the Cleveland Cavaliers because they can play one good game and then that's it. And even when they win, you get this feeling like we gave up how many points to this team? I mean, well, they had a really good offensive performance, but they're not going to against a really good team. They go up even against a team like the New York Knicks, who have not been doing so well. They're 2-8 in their last 10.
Yeah.
But the New York Knicks put them on the floor against the Cavaliers, stop them. You stop the Cavaliers' offense, there's nothing to keep them even close in games. And you just saw this.
Yeah. Oh, they got Charlotte on Wednesday. That one, based on previous performance, they might fluke 130 and win that, but I don't know. I mean,
Martini, for God's sakes, passed better than Lonzo Ball, Amsterdam.
And Big Chief was more useful in the middle
than Jared Allen, because at least he could finish at the rim.
Yeah, and he could break a window too.
So I just want to say, give up. Uncle.
I've given up quite some time ago. Yeah.
It's Uncle. Good. The Cavaliers are a 500 to sub 500 team.
Oh, they're playing at
they're going to quit. They're going to quit completely. They're not going to have these little spurts of looking decent. They're going to quit. You know it. I know it. You don't want to admit it. Some of you out there, you don't want to admit it. But the bottom line is, I know a team that lacks confidence, self-confidence. Hey, Steven, how you doing?
Hey, Moo.
So, there's not much to say except effort is everything. And Jalen Tyson can do only so much because he's a second-year player.
And CPJ can only do so much because he's short. So.
And and you're going to make the excuse, well, we didn't have Darius Garland. We never have Darius Garland.
Oh, they had 4 people injured. They had J-Dub and J. Will, and every fucking J. Williams was hurt for them. And they had somebody else hurt, and the fucking Thunder had more people hurt than the Cavs did.
I have an idea. Stop watching them. Okay. All right. So that's all I have to say about the Cavaliers. I quit. I give up. I'm done. Because if they don't care enough to try, if they don't have the pride, why even bother? It's so pathetic. And it was so obvious that they were a little mighty might team against a really good basketball team who shares the ball. But you know what the real reason that I'm giving up, and I'll be honest with you, because I'm not a quitter. I'm not the kind of guy who's a quitter. I still, talk about the Browns. I'm not a quitter. But when you see a team that really knows how to play defense and is really committed to playing defense like the Thunder, they give themselves so many opportunities. And when you see a team, you know what it's like? It's like Frank Bruno working his way up the heavyweight ranks in the United Kingdom and fighting quadriplegics and paraplegics.
He did.
Okay.
Well, He's a hero here, Go.
Yeah, I know. And knocked cold. Knocked them all cold. And you put him into the ring with a real fighter, and he quit every fucking time.
He did. But we love him. We love Frank Bruno.
I don't.
No, I mean, I'm talking about people in England.
I'd rather see a guy who loses falling on his shield, for God's sakes, than a guy who just goes in and takes a powder. Who needs that? And that the Cavaliers never believed they could win this game. And when they go on the court against the Knicks, they don't believe they can win. And I don't believe they can win. The league doesn't believe they can win. Kenny Atkinson doesn't believe they can win.
The refs don't believe they can win.
And that's the bottom line, too.
Yeah.
You're never going to get a call. You have to wipe this whole thing clean and become the worst team in the league. It doesn't matter, because you're going to get the same 0 calls. The league has given up on the Cavaliers. And when that happens, you see plays where the Thunder were doing the same thing, just slapping us with their hands, no calls. And then their guy would lose the ball, they'd immediately blow a whistle.
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, Tyson tried to go through like 3 defenders in a row, and the Peacock announcers go, yeah, he just lost the ball there. He got absolutely mugged.
Parlez-vous, humma humma? All right, next.
Moo, I don't know if you covered it yet, but my Texans got blown out yesterday.
Yeah, no, I haven't even started.
No,
I haven't
we'll
even begun. And I'm going to. And hey, why don't we start with that? See as how you're here. I think that would be really a wonderful thing. All right. So let's begin with the McNairs. Let's begin with that cunt, Mrs. McNair. You shoot your mouth off about Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was a better quarterback than C.J. Stroud. This year, C.J. Stroud blew the big dog. And the fact is, when your team, Mrs. McNair, because you speak for your husband because he's dickless.
Thanks for not saying moose, blowing the moose.
Moo.
Blowing the moose? Well, that's takes a little more work these days, but it can still be done. That's what I say about cows too.
It's going to go downhill rapidly today, isn't it?
Yeah. But in all seriousness, when you go out there and you just literally shit on somebody, we really, we dumped Deshaun Watson on them, and look what we got. We got all these draft picks, we're all this and we're all that. And when push comes to shove, El Suckamundo when it counts. The Texans are a team who hasn't proven a goddamn thing. Because you remember when you go into the first round, it's like I would say about Lamar Jackson or the overrated. 12-5 is a good season, and winning 10 in a row is good. But when you just turn into a pillar of salt in the playoffs, and your quarterback throws 4 interceptions and looks like a little Nancy boy who doesn't even know how to play the game, and he looks scared, man.
Yeah, he
looked rattled. He just looked rattled. The announcers were saying something wrong with his hand. No, there's something wrong up here. In the preseason, when Mrs. McNair was talking up bad things about the Cleveland Browns, which isn't hard to do, he was on video, C.J. Stroud, saying, I'm one of the best quarterbacks in the game. I'm one of the best quarterbacks in the game.
He said he was number 3.
Yeah, I mean, and that, look, you can believe in yourself, but until you've proven it, you can't really say that. I mean, who even says that?
He looked like fucking DTR in that game, man.
It just looked really rattled. And that's right. Yeah, that's the word to use. Addled and rattled. And, we're not supposed to say bad things about him because he's from the Ohio State University. Well, fuck that too. Go Indiana. Just because you come from somewhere doesn't make you great. And, you you got to prove yourself when you get into the situation. And that was an interesting point that Troy Aikman made, is that you get off to that really great rookie season start. And you know something? I mean, Baker Mayfield had a really good rookie season. And when teams don't know what you're going to do, and you're a lousy team like the Texans were, and they suddenly get all these nice draft picks, and they start, becoming a barely over 500 team. And then all the Texans fans, I'm sorry, Big Ounce, you're still my buddy, but all Texans fans, oh yeah, we're gonna win it all, and start that nonsense prematurely. You got to build to it. People just don't go from being a shitty team, like a little sub 500 or close to 500 team, to becoming a Super Bowl champion or even becoming a winner in the playoffs. Ask Baker Mayfield.
Mm-hmm.
There are lots of quarterbacks who can have good games. The question is, how many and how consistent are you?
Well, I'd also like to point out that the Texans or the Oilers or whatever they're called, they didn't have any wide receivers or tight ends or offensive line in that game. I don't know how many fuckers were hurt, like Nico Collins and all these dudes were hurt for them.
Schultz was out.
It was like they were playing like the Browns have had to play, with no offensive line, no wide receiver.
And that's only fair. It's only fair, so that cunt can take her words back.
Exactly.
Mr. McNair's got to put a leash on that hoe. I mean, you can't do that. You just can't go out in a press conference when you're not even involved with the team. Do you think Mrs. McNair is involved in any decisions that are made by that organization? She's just a greedy little hoe who married an older guy, multimillionaire, so that she could stuff the money in her bra, just like a hoe does. That's what she is. She has no right. Just shut up. Shut up and sit pretty if you have to be in the press conferences. It's like Bill Belichick's fucking girlfriend. What are you doing out there?
Well, she hasn't been in the news lately, has she? She needs to get in the news again.
Well, no, I mean, when is enough? I mean, there's a place for you. You dance naked in front of Bill and try to get his dick hard. It's not easy to do at this point. That's your job. But your job isn't to just disrupt his press conferences or his interviews by shooting your mouth off. If you're involved in the business, or get involved in another business, and you can talk all you want. But I just don't get it. I don't get it. And the Texans, their best running back was Nick Chubb.
I know. And that's sad because
he's running on one leg, 1.5 legs.
Yeah.
And I love Nick
Woody,
Chubb.
He loves Nick Chubb.
Even Woody Marks fumbled.
Yeah.
The running back fumbled. We had a chance to score on that drive.
Well, everybody's going to press when the quarterback doesn't seem to know how to throw the ball straight. And that's what it looked like to me. He could have been drunk for all I know.
Yeah, he forgot his skill set completely, didn't he?
He's just rattled. The moment
it's like that
seemed too big.
It's like that movie Space Jam, where the players had their talent stolen. They play like crap.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's all I have to say about the Texans. And am I happy the team lost? Yes, I am. I'm thrilled with that, but not because I have anything against the fans who cheer them on. But
we're all fans together, aren't we? We should band together and get rid of all of these fucking corrupt billionaire owners. That's really what should happen.
Well, and this is what's happened. And you bring this up, and you wonder how
much longer it can go on.
No, it can go on forever. I mean, do you really believe that Sean McDermott deserved to be fired?
No, I could not believe that when I saw it pop up on my feed. I thought this is some rogue account that's posting this.
Only one statistic: 9 years, no Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
That's every owner in the NFL, every pig of an owner, because they're all just like Jimmy Haslam. They're all pigs. They really don't care about anything. They're just going to stuff as much money into their pockets, and they think that all the money in the world can buy them a Super Bowl, that's going to give them not just the credibility they look for, but it's going to make them young and virile again. It's going to make them important beyond all belief, and then they'll shit on 100 more people. That's what it is. And it's no different than companies buying 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50, 100 different companies. It's never enough.
Yeah.
And that's what's happened in Buffalo. Now, here's what I will say about the Buffalo game. If I were the head coach, I would say, first of all, it's a tough one. They're all tough ones to lose. If you're in the game and the game is close, and if you score 30 points and you lose, then, there are reasons why your team lost. This guy was 98-50, McDermott, in his, and he was 8-8 in the postseason. All right.
Hell of a lot better than Kevin Stefanski, who was 40%.
He's 51 years old. He will get a job elsewhere. But you see, all the owners are doing the same thing. They're saying, look at how many mediocre teams there are in the NFL. Never understanding that it's they who are causing the mediocrity. They really are. Because there is no, how would I put this? Only the teams that have veteran players who understand the value of every minute they're on the field, those are the teams who are the regular winners. And the teams that think that they can quickly build into something and they get a few headlines because they have a good season, they go to hell real fast. Look at the Detroit Lions as an example. I mean, the Lions were futile and they couldn't get anything done. Then all of a sudden, man, it's like, oh, Dan Campbell, he's our savior. He's our savior. We're going to win it all with Jared Goff. Okay? That's the belief. And then when they become a 500 team again or below 500 team, people are like, how'd that happen? And the answer is you got to be deep. You've got to make good decisions in personnel. You can't be lopsided offense without defense. You got to have a little luck. But the Bills lost not because of Sean McDermott. If the other team gets 5 flags in their favor,
correct,
how can they not score the winning points?
Yeah.
If you catch a ball downfield and you hit the ground with control and the guy rolls over the top of you and swipes it from you and it's an interception, what are you going to do about that? And a lot of these games that I'm watching, it's like there's corruption. The owners are corrupt. The players are trying to get what they can, and they're corrupt. People are cheating and shaving points and taking money on the side.
Oh, God,
the league is in bed with bad gambling people. There's no character in this.
And the amazing thing is watching these broadcasts, and they all have like Gene's territory. I don't want to just pick on him, but they all have to come up with, these referee specialists all have to come up with new ways of justifying these egregiously bad calls. Like
they've stopped.
Oh yeah, I would have called that. Yeah, blah blah blah.
No, I mean they've stopped.
Or
I don't know if you know who Gene's territory is because he's been doing it for years. Now they got guys. Here's Sam Glutz, and Sam Glutz he's my neighbor from down the street. Well, how did you see that place, Sam? Same way they saw it, Bob. Same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Calls are going up to New York now. They're like, New York takes a look at the calls now.
Yeah, I mean, amazing. Nobody, and we're going to bring David Talevsky in. Hello, David Talevsky. How are you?
Oh, you already know I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, I know. And we'll explain it in just a minute. Well, David, why don't you get it out of the way? Why? I mean,
Get it
it's
out of
so
your
rare.
system.
I mean, usually David Talevsky, if you're not a regular
Is
viewer of
the
the
most
program,
upbeat, happiest guy that particularly compared to me.
he has a perpetual burr in his saddle. But
To be honest, I
today,
consider it more of a character.
okay. Then why are you
Yes.
happy today?
Because Chad O'Shea is leaving the Browns to go to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Somebody
we
hired
we
one of
lost
our
our
assistants?
receivers coach. Woo! Yeah, I'm happy too because they never,
I can't believe that. That's somebody hired one of our assistants.
Andy
God
Reid.
damn.
Andy Reid is like, oh fuck this, I'm getting old. I'm gonna leave the Chiefs with nothing, just like the Cowboys did to the Indians. I'm gonna leave the Chiefs with nothing.
Oh yeah, they're on their way to 3-13, 14.
Oblivion,
Yeah,
man.
they're Bolivia. Yeah.
So, but I don't look at a 33-30 loss to be any reason why the head coach would be fired, except monkey see, monkey do. It's like, the other owners, you know what they're doing? They're trying to get their hands on the young talent. We can't we're in a personal war with 31 other people. And we can't let them get the leg up on us. We're all going to fire our coaches and we're going to find, and meanwhile,
that new guy, that new gem, that new opal in the
yes,
dust.
because they still think their money is so impressive that it's just some stroke of magic that they're going to win a Super Bowl. And you know what you're going to get? You're going to get owners who are going to come out and say, well, we've narrowed it down to one candidate, and our candidate, we wanted to find somebody young and somebody who is expressive. I'd like to introduce you to the new coach of fill in the blank, Little Timmy Bartholow. For God's sakes. I just want to, he's 7 years old. He doesn't have a fucking clue. And he's been 7 years old for 40 years.
But he's been watching football for 4 years, ever since he was 3.
And his father gets strokes in the middle of games. And so he understands what's going on.
Can I make a comment about all this? Now, now there are 32 teams in the league, all right? And the league keeps saying, oh, we want parity. All right, so what does parity mean? It means that basically the NFL championship is a roulette wheel. There are 37 numbers on a roulette wheel, 32 teams. Now, if you think you being an owner of a team your ball's going to land on your hole, you're on a 32-1 chance. I mean, that's just insanity to fire people because you think you deserve to be in the Super Bowl when it's that hard to win.
Do you know what parity in the NFL means?
Tell me what parity means now.
Parity in the NFL now means we all make a shitload of money and let me win the big cup one year and you win the big cup the next year. And that's parity. We could all hang things up on our mantles and have billions and billions of dollars. Now that's what I call parity. And we'll charge the fans more to get in.
Yep, because when you have a Super Bowl team, you can charge them more for season tickets because they think it might happen again.
It's, in my mind, a sickness. It's an absolute sickness. I mean, if you look at the Bills game, Josh Allen was 25 of 39. I mean, and he threw for 283 yards. He had 2 interceptions and 3 touchdowns. All right. He was sacked 3 times. And then Bo Nix, who's now crippled and can't play anymore because he broke a bone in his foot on a play that I couldn't even see how it happened.
I didn't see it either. What happened? I didn't even see it happen.
It was on a boot. It was a boot to his left, and he just planted to throw a ball, and his foot just kind of folded it away, and he broke a bone.
It wasn't that play.
That's what they said it was, or they changed their minds.
Well, because they were showing another one where he had kept it himself and kind of went down like towards the left or whatever. And I guess I don't know whether a lineman stepped on it or whether he went down on it awkwardly. But that's one of the things that it looked like it was.
Wow. But I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, happy you won. And by the way, fans, and I don't care about Denver fans either. Carlos wide left. Fuck you and your horse mouth team. And you were gifted. I mean, and I don't care if you ever win again. You're all a mile high if you think your team is great. But now you're going to have to figure out what life is like with a backup quarterback, and that's always fun.
They've got Jason Statham in there. They brought him over from England.
I mean, do you realize that the Buffalo Bills rushed for 183 yards and that Denver rushed for 70?
Yeah.
And you fire the head coach.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And that one interception obviously was controversial too. And you said he had 2 interceptions.
Yeah. I mean, there was a play in the other playoff game that was the same thing. Guy catches the ball, they fall to the ground, the guy wrestles it away, and they said, that's a complete pass. It's like these things are just premeditated, man.
Well, Chicago's loss was on them. Going for all those freaking 4th downs, he didn't convert a single one of them.
Didn't do what?
They didn't convert any of the 4th downs they were doing. They missed a lot of them.
Here's the thing about that. I'm glad you brought that up because, everyone's saying, well, God, the Bears, Ben Johnson, he's brought them from the dead.
He's the new guy. He's the new hero. Yeah.
He had a bad fucking day.
Yep.
And there's 2 things that lost that football game. And the one was the Caleb Williams ill-advised throw in overtime that resulted in a turnover when they were around midfield. And he threw a ball that was just not a high percentage ball. And it wasn't, there's no way the wide receiver is going to get to it. And that's what gave the momentum back to the Rams to enable them to win. But what really did, and David brought up the point, but I want to kind of finish his sentence. They had 4 opportunities. How could you have a quarterback that good who's that much of a concern to prolong plays? He is a freight train size-wise, and he's faster than the defensive players. And he's intentionally staying back and throwing the ball from the pocket, which you need to do so you don't get hurt. Did you see the scramble earlier in the game where he just literally turned on the afterjets? What looked like it was going to be, he needed 10 yards, and what looked like it was going to be a 7-yard gain, he just turned on the rockets.
I saw it.
And he just ran over the defensive guy. Are you telling me you couldn't devise a play that somehow takes advantage at the 4 fucking yard line? That
he was like Eric Dickerson out there on that play, man.
He could carry people 4 yards.
Yeah.
So again, you can say why teams lose. Matthew Stafford was only 20 of 42 in that game. It's not like he was exceptional, but Caleb Williams threw 3 interceptions. You really can't do that. But he also saved their bacon with an impossible throw that you just, and that's not the first time I've seen him do it either.
Yeah,
That's off his back foot, 40 yards in the air, right on the money. I don't even know how he saw the guy. So
I think he was further behind the line of scrimmage than he was from the line of scrimmage to the goal line. So
I mean, he just kept going. He did what they hate about Shador doing, right?
Exactly. I can see Shador. Give him a couple years. I could see him doing that exact same play.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a smart thing to do But,
exactly.
and he is bigger, stronger, and faster than Shador is. But sometimes things work out, and it seemed like all of the momentum
Well,
was going to go that way, and then that interception buried them in overtime.
that interception, they're blaming that on the receiver more than they're blaming it on him.
Well, yeah,
The receiver stopped
DJ Moore
running.
quit. Yeah, he quit.
Well, the defender sure as hell didn't, because it hit him right in stride. Because if that's where the ball was supposed to go, the defender would have been there anyway. No one is going to blame that quarterback. And we're bringing in Tony the Calf. Are you there, Calf?
There. Now he's not there. He's gone.
What happened to him?
The disappearing calf. There he is.
Tony, are you there?
Tony?
There he is. Hi, good.
Yeah. I was in the show and then backstage, and I'm in the show again. What the hell?
Oh, you want to go backstage again? I can arrange that.
Tony likes it in the green room. They have snacks there. They got Cheetos. They got fucking drinks. The whole thing.
5-course buffet back here.
5-course buffet in the green room.
I want to point out something
treatment before he came on.
Yeah, I want to cover something before I forget. If you're the Los Angeles Rams and now everyone's talking about you, you cannot have a tight end whose last name is Parkinson.
Well, it makes you nervous. So you start shaking.
Yeah, every time he drops a pass, it's a happening. It's a happening.
Oh dear.
I know. Look, I don't say that this is a
bad taste.
I know this is not a classy show, but
No.
We all know his favorite pregame meal.
Little seizures.
Yeah.
Pizza. Oh God.
I don't think that the Browns wanted any of these people. We're going to talk about the people who have gotten jobs, the people who are about to get jobs, the people like, Robert Kraft who are getting hand jobs. We'll be talking about that in a few minutes.
I just saw the Dolphins hired the Packers defensive coordinator to be their head coach.
Say that again?
The Dolphins hired Packers defensive coordinator Jeff Hafley as their next head coach.
Wow. I mean, Tua is going to be real happy with that.
Yeah. Do we think old Foghorn Haslam is going to I say, give him all the money at Sean McDermott now that he's
no. And
no.
I'll tell you what first I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. All right. And is it what I would do at this point? From the choices that the Browns will have, which are slim and none. I mean, you've got a defensive coordinator who's really an important piece of your team. Let's be honest. Jim Schwartz was the only reason why the Browns were in any games this year. Okay,
yeah.
It was not the offense. So you let him go, then you have no coach, you have no offensive coordinator because Tommy Rees is going to end up with Kevin Stefanski. I mean, and so you're not going to have, and Todd Monken is not going to get the head coaching job of the Cleveland Browns.
Monken's going to be Harbaugh's offensive coordinator in New York.
Yeah, I mean, and that is a likelihood. So I guess the only thing you can do if you're the Browns is to hire your defensive coordinator as a head coach, which isn't the best thing in the world. But then you have to have an offensive coordinator who you really believe in. But the problem with that is that any established offensive coordinator is going to look at the roster that you have
and go, yeah,
exactly. And this is a tough one. Udinski, because they like to hire guys with ski at the end of their name. Might be he's 30 years old. They may say we're just going to try to get the next great young head coach, but we're going to have a sage guy on the sidelines as our defensive coordinator. But if you do that, if you hire the 30-year-old guy and you pass over your defensive coordinator Schwartz for the head coaching job, he's going to go away.
Well, yeah.
This is a real clusterfuck, but it always is with Haslam because always a day late, a dollar short.
Well, Haslam Sports Group makes the job unattractive. If we had even a slightly better owner, more people would want to come here.
That's right, Wable. You get a, kind of like an under the desk deal,
Hey.
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 So, coaches are getting fired. They're dropping and I won't even mention the Seahawks and the 49ers. Brock Purdy, please. It's like I told you before. We're talking about these teams, really good teams. And then we're talking about a 49ers team who didn't impress me when they played the Browns. Brock Purdy is underpowered, underarmed, and
backed up, basically.
He's what I call underarm alarm. And 15 of 27 for 140 yards. I know what it was like and what they were dealing with. But I mean, when your team gives up 175 yards rushing, you're not going to have a chance. And when you barely complete 50% of your passes and you still throw an interception like Brock Purdy did, there's no threat there. So Seattle didn't play their best game in one regard, but the defense sure as hell did. Man, they came out en fuego. So here's some things going on around the league. The Lions are finalizing their deal to hire Drew Petzing as their new offensive coordinator, right? I didn't even know they had an offensive coordinator because Dan Campbell stepped in and said, I'm calling the plays. And that really worked well, didn't it? And that's the problem that the Browns have with Jim Schwartz. Because Jim Schwartz, I mean, if you give him that job and he starts saying, now I'm a head coach, I'm going to call the plays. If that's the way it's going to be, lose him too. Because you have to have a semblance of interpersonal communication. If you don't have that, you don't have nothing. So Petzing is replacing John Morton, who was fired after 1 year. They gave him a hell of a good chance up in Detroit. And you always know an insecure head coach. Fire him. Wasn't my fault. Yeah. Lions were 9-8 and back to liondom. Petzing was the Cardinals' offensive coordinator in the past 3 seasons. So
was he in Cleveland for like a cup of coffee at some point?
You see, the names they all run through Cleveland because they get here and they go, hey, it got me another job in a better place. I only had to live there for a year, So the expectation, get this, is that Dan Campbell would relinquish play calling to whomever was hired. No, they told him that. They said, Dan, cut it the fuck out. God almighty.
Can I make another point here? Look at where all the dome teams are. Yeah, let's go get a dome. All the dome teams are sucking, unless you count the Rams as a dome team.
Well, I mean, look at the Texans. I mean, they got out and the weather was like, yeah. I mean, it's not a good idea. And that's right, Amsterdam. It's a checkpoint, Charlie,
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to sign in and get out as soon as you can. That's
it's a
really
regional airport, man.
Now, here's something interesting. The Falcons and hiring Kevin Stefanski are retaining their defensive coordinator, Jeff Ulbrich. So here's something, and I always look at this stuff because, the Cleveland media won't say anything because, Kevin Stefanski was their favorite and, Mary Kay Cabot still tastes his jizz, So I can say this. Kevin Stefanski had no fucking say who his defensive coordinator was because the Falcons said to him, you're the head coach. Go ahead and do what you do. We've got Kirk Cousins. We've got another left-handed short ball thrower who came from the Northwest, you like those kind of guys, we have Michael Penix for you. And you just go ahead and figure out the little short offense. But, the defensive coordinator doesn't have to answer to you, schmuck. That's what it boils down to. Because the opposite extreme is John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh doesn't, it's like, well, I'm going to turn this job down. I'm not even interested in that job. And I'm interested in the Giants job. Now, you got to be fucking crazy. You got to be self-loathing to choose the Giants, right?
Yeah.
But the Mara family, because they're in market number 1 in America, they have all that side revenue. They got all that money. And it's the second Harbaugh just wrote his name down and said, you got to pay me whatever it was, 30 million and then 20 million for this. And then, and you got to let me fuck your wife and you got to let me do whatever. One person jumped, and that's the weakling Giants. And at 63 years of age, if you don't believe me, just remember what the Browns did when they brought in a big name coach.
Mike Holmgren.
That's right. And Mike Holmgren said, I'll ride around in a golf cart for you for how much?
And he did absolutely nothing at all.
Nothing
useful anyway.
This is his retirement package.
Oh, God.
His guarantee. It won't matter. By the time it's a 5-year deal. And if they fire him, then they'll just continue to be the laughingstock. He'll be 68, unhireable as a head coach, and have all the money that he wants. And just think of all the under the table money he'll do by doing little advertisements in market number 1.
Oh, God, I'll make a mint. Oh, big
money,
man.
But why should John Harbaugh be any different than the fucking owners of the NFL? It's all about money and money. Johnny Manziel, money. That's all that matters. So Kevin Stefanski taking the Atlanta Falcons job. He does have Bijou Robinson, so he has another running back he can cripple.
Yeah,
he got that going for him. He's got some talent down there. It's not a great
Pitts and the other the tight end and wide receivers are named Drake London
and Kirk Cousins. He goes back with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah,
so he's real happy with that. Michael Penix is not going to be happy because it doesn't unless Cousins is beheaded, he's going to be the starting quarterback. Okay, and even if he's playing with one leg, he's going to be the starting quarterback, and he'll do what Kev tells him to do, and that'll be that.
Oh, you got to flash up Big Lurker's comment.
Yeah. Can you believe that? Toughness.
Go Big Lurker.
The only thing that I can understand about it all is they all agree that they have to be better.
Yeah, we have to be better.
And do I wish anything bad on Kevin Stefanski? No. I really don't. I'm ambivalent toward him.
Is Mary Kay going to start covering the Falcons now that Stefanski's there? Like that one year where they covered the Bengals. Yeah, I think they should do that.
I don't know. They may get marginally better with Kevin Stefanski at first, but you know what he's going to do. We already know what he's going to do, and it's everybody else knows what he's going to do too. So Stefanski, he took the job that had a little bit of bright light. He didn't want to be forgotten. But the fact that how many 9 teams now total, is that right? Are flipping their head coaches?
Yeah, they're panicking.
They're all
panicking
just
in the market.
And
sell, Mortimer, sell, get in there and sell.
Yeah, I just
that's what it is. It's like the end of Trading Places where Duke have lost everything. They're panicking.
And that you look at the Cleveland media, you know,
Why? Why do we have to?
you know, and Terry Pluto saying, you know, it figures that Stefanski would go so high. He would go so high. He was just held in such great respect that it's like, you know, you bald-headed fake Christian motherfucker. Good God Almighty. And he is a fake Christian. I say that because I know. Not because of the masturbation thing that he copped to. And one day I will tell you what I know. And you will hate him forever, like I do. There's some things that cross over the step of human decency, and he did one of them. If you believe that pedophiles should be jailed for life, first of all, we'd have to elect a new president. But second of all, we'd have to elect a whole new Congress. And then third of all, if you believe that, then Terry Pluto would be in jail right next to him. Not a pedo. I'll get to it one day. I want to make it clear. Terry Pluto, as far as I know, is not a pedophile. Okay? No, he's not. He's a fake Christian who used his fake Christian credentials to do such an unethical and disgusting thing that I will never like him. All right. So anything he writes is tainted. All right. That's the point of it. And you know, my feeling about Stefanski is he at one time showed promise, and so the Falcons hired him because there's not many people. There's not many people right now out there. You're not going to, and if you're in Cleveland, you're not going to get a plum. You know? Yeah. So the Browns now have added 4 more names. All right. Nate Scheelhaas.
Great name.
Yep. He's the offensive coordinator of the Jaguars. Right. Grant Udzinski, which I was talking about. He no, he's the Jaguars coordinator. Sorry, the Rams game coordinator is Nate Scheelhaas. Okay. Yeah. Defensive coordinator of the Chargers, Jesse Minter, and former Dolphins coach Mike Heroin addicted McDaniel. All right, those are the names, and they already had second interviews with Jim Schwartz, which they have to do because they can ill afford to lose the one piece that they have in place, which is the defense.
Wow.
And they have second interview with Todd Monken, which makes no sense to me because it's like, you know that Harbaugh's saying, what'd they say to you? Todd, what'd they say to you? I'm going to get some inside info.
I'll match it.
No, I'm just going to get inside info because I'm a little whiny bitch.
Yeah.
You know, but of the group, Scheelhaas has to wait now because his team actually won. Okay. They're not going to be able to talk to him until January 26th.
Well, maybe somebody will get fired after Sunday's games, you know? Anything can happen this year.
God, it really is.
That really could happen. You could like be in the championship game, lose it, and get yourself fired.
Yeah, and watching CJ Stroud talking about his failure.
Oh, I didn't see that, but yeah. Was it like DTR, watching DTR?
You know, here's his quote. No. I just feel like I let people down. Oh. When Egypt was in Israel land, let my people go. Oppressed so hard they could not stand. Let my people go. Yeah, he was feeling like, well, I'm going to Mississippi. Oh, I'm going to see my baby breaking rocks, you know. He let people down. It hurts, and I'm not used to it. Well, get used to it because it ain't all sunshine and lollipops.
And rainbows.
You know, the press builds you up to tear you down. They get you believing all this shit. You know, every one of those Cavalier players in Cleveland, they had that great season last year, and they convinced themselves that, well, you know,
we're all stars.
it was just one season, and then and then the next year, it's just they get blown away. They build you up to tear you down, and and the reason the Knicks are 2-8 in their last 10 is because we know Mr. Potato Head Mike Brown, their head coach, he doesn't have any more answers than the last guy did. It's the same fucking team.
Exactly. He's the Stefanski of the NBA, man. Yeah.
All right. I didn't play my best this year, Stroud said.
No.
But I'm going to respond, keep my chest up, my chin high, and I'm going to keep battling forward. If God is before me, who can be against me? Well, what happened this year?
Wow.
Jesus turned his back on you, huh? I get so tired of this. It's like you're responsible for you, not God. God looks over mankind. He doesn't look at an individual person and say, I got to pick him up because he's quarterbacking the Texans, by God. That's not the way it works.
No.
But and so he says, if God is before me, who can be against me? I'm just going to rely on that. And you know what that sounds like? Jameis Winston, Shador Sanders. All credit to him. All credit to him. You know something? Fuck that shit. All credit to him. You're born with a talent. You have to prove that you can do it. And when you're in the big moment, you start pointing to the sky. The sky ain't going to help you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
You got to raise yourself, raise your game, and rise to the occasion. The
way you get better is with work ethic and with trying.
Right.
And you have to grind out these wins, and you have to have practice. Now, if you were thrown in these situations with no practice, like Shador was for most of the thing, you could understand failure. But if you're the starting quarterback and you play like 16 games that year and you have all the reps, then you should know what you're doing and not panic.
And I don't want this to come off wrong, because having faith, there's nothing wrong with having faith. But what bothers me,
skill and practice.
Well, you got to have character, and you got to be able to come back from disappointment. The thing that bothers me is not the belief in faith in God. It has nothing to do with that, because people will accuse me of that, and that's not the case. It's the Jesus take the wheel concept.
Yeah.
You're driving the fucking car, and if you're waiting for Jesus to take the wheel, you're going to get hit by a truck. You have to take responsibility for your life. And I think this notion of I'm just going to leave it up to the big guy upstairs is taking the heat off yourself. It's like, I'll be judged by him. No, judge yourself, man. Judge yourself and be a better person. Work harder. Don't flaunt yourself on talk shows saying you're the third best quarterback in the league when you haven't accomplished anything. Just... And that's what the new thing is.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I don't like about Shador. I just don't understand. It's like, if you do something bad, own up to it. If you do something great, own up to it. And if you want to express that you have faith in God, that's fine. But something? God Almighty.
Yeah, people could go to church quietly and not have to tell everybody about it.
Who was the biggest Bible thumper who ever came to the NFL?
Tim Tebow.
That's right. You know what Tim Tebow's problem was?
He sucked.
He couldn't play football.
He was awful.
He couldn't throw the football.
It took him 5 seconds to actually do the mechanics of throwing.
They had to try to teach him the actual mechanics, because all he did is run in college.
Yeah.
But and he just became an NFL what's the word?
Evangelical quarterback.
Yeah. He became like a
Missionary.
I had the word on the tip of my tongue. But missionary. That's what he was.
Yeah.
He liked the missionary position.
Yeah. Well,
and
lying flat on his back.
God Almighty, it's like what I'd like to see more of is less garbage talk and more action in your life. If you want to believe in something, act like you believe in it. Live the philosophy. Don't talk about how great it is to be a generous person and then to be stingy yourself. Don't talk about that shit. I have a real problem with this. It's and you'll never be any good at what you do because you got to take responsibility for your weaknesses to make yourself stronger. That's what it is. This is a competition, but it's as much a competition within yourself. And that's true. Then I could bring it back to Evan Mobley. It's like you got to believe in yourself. And right now he doesn't. You got to believe in yourself. Jared Allen is just not engaged that way. The thing that's wrong between the Cavaliers is it's between their ears. And they have no swagger and confidence, and they don't play with conviction. And I want conviction in actions, not in words. That's what it comes down to. So I'm just sick of the, lay it off on God. Don't lay it off on God.
Yeah, it's not his or her fault, man.
I mean, God has a lot more to worry about than how the Texans do on a football field.
Correct.
Good God Almighty.
Wow.
As far as the standings, in the
good moment to wrap it up, really.
Yeah, and the Cavaliers, they're at 24-20, and you just gotta love that. And the Orlando Magic are just above them, and they've been underperforming, seeing as how they were going to be the next great thing.
Oh God, yeah, everybody was saying Orlando.
Don't let anybody convince you you're the next great thing. Every day, I remember every day I would go into the office, and it's like, I got to be really good. And the reason I got to be really good at what I do is because my financial future and my family's financial future depends upon it. And I got to be my best. And there's no pointing fingers. There's just got to be my best. And, teams that are underplaying themselves, like the Cavaliers and the Orlando Magic, and you look at the Boston Celtics and look at them. They're 26-50. They're not hanging their head because of bad luck.
Yep.
They lost their leading scorer, but they moved right on. Now the Detroit Pistons, we'll see. They're doing great. 30-10. They're having that breakout year that the Cavaliers had last year. But if anybody can fuck it up, it's JB Bickerstaff, because he'll just keep pounding in his nonsense shit over and over and over again. People will tune him out and get sick of hearing it, man. So people have to internalize and be the best they can be. And as far as the Browns are concerned, you're not going to get somebody who's going to come in and just turn you around. But you should
by a fluke.
You should know that, because you've missed so many draft picks the last few years because of the Watson thing. I mean, you have to know how deep the hole is. You've whoever you give the opportunity to, you got to give them a chance. And Kevin Stefanski proved one thing to me. He acquired a great running back, the best in the game at the time, and even he didn't know that. Nobody knew how great Nick Chubb would be. And the best offensive line. He had those things. And then he had some guys a little late in their careers, like Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham Jr. and that sort of thing. But they hit good on Njoku, and Njoku became more than what people thought he would. And he did okay in that period of time.
Yeah.
But he couldn't coach anything or coax anything out of players who were of lesser stature, and he couldn't get them to buy in. It was obvious the team just quit. They stopped listening to him altogether because they were sick of him just going in press conferences and just pointing out, who needed to be better. And then under his breath saying, and that includes me. They got sick of it. So, We'll see what happens in Atlanta, but I don't really care about Atlanta. The Browns have only one decision that they have to make, and that is whether they're going to bring Schwartz up to the head coach position, or if you leave him behind, that you got to figure that he's going to pull a Callahan on you.
Well, now that Buffalo is open, I can see Schwartz going there.
There's, I don't know that Jim Schwartz has the credentials or the portfolio, shall we say, to get a top job. But I will say this, that what's important for the Browns is to steady their ship. They've got to find out, with a proper offensive coordinator, that's more important than the head coach, to be very honest with you, for this team. If we can keep our defensive coordinator and we get an offensive coordinator, we have a chance to at least level things out, to make an assessment about the two quarterbacks that we have and whether we have to go next year and draft a quarterback. But you got to put more good players on the field. We just don't have enough good players. And as much as I didn't like the way Stefanski went about things, he did not have a good roster. Let's be honest.
No.
But he did when he got here, and he never really made hay out of everything. He had that good start, and then he had a savior year from a 40-year-old guy. And besides that,
total aberration. That was
and he underperformed. And it hit, zero, man. By the time the last 2 years were just terrible. So that's my knowledge. That's what I have for you today. And I wanted to thank you, Moose, for jumping in, and also to Stephen stopping in and saying hi.
Oh, Tulevsky never said what he was happy about, did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, because the Browns wide receiver coach, Chad O'Shea, is gone. Took a job with. Yeah, he took.
He was great in the World Series, though, 1997. Wasn't he?
Yeah, there you go. Oh God Almighty! I forgot. I forgot that name. Now I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I seemed like I was in a grouchy mood today, but I watched part of that Cavaliers game, and how could you not be?
Horrible.
I mean, if you want to find out how far you are from even being competitive, go back and watch the film of that game. Holy moly!
Chet Holmgren, unicorn. There you go.
All right. Well, Bronk, thanks for joining me. Thanks everybody out there for joining me. Have a good rest of your Monday. We'll be back again.
Cleveland.
I love you. You know I do. Come up to Uncle Bruce. I love you. Hold. I love you. I'm just wondering, I don't even know if Bruce is married. But could you imagine being on a date with him?
I love you.
I love you, baby. I love you. You don't sound sincere. I love you. This is so fucked up. The last show ended with Stig Nevers, and I'm never's going to do that again.
I was dying after that. I had to beat. Oh, dude.
So everybody, have yourselves a good week, and I will see you at the end of the week on Friday.
I'll see you in a brand new Kia.
She twists it. I don't even know her name.
She's, just do Kia girl and it'll pop up.
But I love her.
I love her.
Thanks, everybody. See you later. Until next time, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
No.